Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first one is from Samson. It is his most recent physique update, or should I say his back update. And we also got an interesting caption here. So he says, "Who said you can't put on muscle and make improvements in prep? Well, with the right coach, you can." So first of all, this right here is Samson's update at 8 weeks out of the Arnold Classic. And recently, I made a couple of videos. I talked about where Samson stands against all the Mr. Olympia winners of all time or all the bodybuilders of all time. And in my opinion, he is in the top 5 of the best bodybuilders of all time. If you put all the best, let's say top 20 bodybuilders of all time with Samson, I think he would be probably 5th, something like that, I'm pretty sure. Simply because he is extremely complete, he doesn't lack a lot of body parts, he is freaking massive, he is huge, and his conditioning at the Mr. Olympia last year was actually very good. The only flaw, basically, I mean, there are, like, let's say 2 flaws, but like one of them would be conditioning simply in one area, the glutes, which was okay at the Mr. Olympia last year, but it wasn't super amazing. The other thing that he is lacking would be his lats, right? His lower lats. You know, that's the thing that he needs to improve the most, in my opinion. Like, he needs more density, more thickness in those lower lats, basically lats overall. Like, his back is not bad, it's good, as you can see. Like, he has the width of the shoulders, he has the details in the traps, the rhomboids, the teres muscle, everything. I mean, the lats are okay, they're not horrible, but not as developed as the rest of his physique. And apparently, right now, at 8 weeks out, he's still trying to make improvements in his physique. And he said this on his Q&A as well. His plan is to not just bring better conditioning, that's always the plan, but he also wants to improve body parts. And again, the one body part that needs improvement the most would be his lats. I mean, that weakness, that flaw is visible in the front shots, in like the front double, front lat, but it's also very visible from the back. Like, check out his back relaxed pose right here. And let's do this unfair comparison. Let's compare him to the best back of all time in the history of bodybuilding. And also Ronnie here is, you know, contest ready. He's on the stage. So it's obviously not a fair comparison, but just to exaggerate things, to make a clear point, don't pay attention to the conditioning of the hamstrings, of the glutes. Of course, Samson is 8 weeks out. This is Ronnie when he is shredded. And I did compare these two guys a lot, you know, because Samson is basically similar weight, similar height to Ronnie. They both have like pretty aesthetic physiques. I mean, until Ronnie messed it up later on, like he was very aesthetic and he reminded me a lot. I mean, Samson reminds me a lot of Ronnie when he was younger. So I think it is an interesting comparison, but like, yeah, of course, Ronnie is the king. He's the best of all time. But here you can see what I'm talking about, like as far as the lats. Like, there is a huge difference here. As far as the rest of the body parts, there isn't really that big of a difference. Like the glute development, the hamstring size, the leg size from behind, the quads, the shoulders, the arms, the chest. Like, these guys are actually, you know, decently close. I mean, okay, nobody's close to Ronnie. Ronnie is one of a kind, but if anybody comes close to Ronnie, it is Samson. I mean, yeah, Heath is good in his own way, but as far as like the size, the frame, the weight, Samson outweights Phil by like 50 pounds. So I think Samson is the guy that came the closest to Ronnie Coleman. Even though it's not really that close, he's the closest guy, if you ask me. But here you can see what I'm talking about. That's what Samson needs to improve. It is the lats. Now, of course, his lats are a little bit higher inserted, but still, he can definitely make them grow more. He can definitely, I can see like there is room for more development. You know, he can definitely, maybe, I don't know if he can because he's 38, 39 years old right now. So I don't know if he can actually improve on his physique anymore at this point. But if there is an area he could improve and grow and fill out, it would be his lats. And as far as like the insertions, the shape, the genetics, I think there is definitely room to make those lats bigger. So hopefully that's gonna be the improvement that Samson is gonna make. I don't think he's going to be at Ronnie Coleman's level at the end of this prep, but if he improves them 5%, 10%, 15%, it's gonna definitely add to his physique in the back and the front shots. So hopefully that's his biggest focus. I think that's what he should focus on the most. We'll see what kind of changes he will be able to make this time around, but I am expecting Samson to be better at the Arnold Classic than at the Mr. Olympia. What do you guys think? Alright, the next thing we got is the most recent physique update from Chris Bumstead, basically in his retirement. Now, after the Prague Pro, apparently Chris actually took a whole month off of training. I'm sure he went off the gear, and I don't know what he was eating, but in this physique update right here, as you can see, he definitely looks like he deflated a little. He doesn't look as full-blown as he did when he competed at the Prague Pro. So I think this is the sort of look he will be maintaining in his retirement. Not off-season, retirement. I don't know how many of you guys are even interested in this, because usually, in my experience, like when I post, when I do videos about Chris Bumstead's physique updates in the off-season, those videos don't get a lot of interest, you know. He gets interest when he's on stage, and like the classic physique as division got a lot more popularity because of him, but nobody was really super interested in his physique updates in the off-season because he was never really focused on improving in the off-season. He would just, you know, start the prep and get better as he's prepping, and then at the day of the show, that's when everybody would be paying attention to him. But like in the off-season, not a lot of people actually care about what Chris Bumstead looks like, and now that he's retired, it's probably even less. But I honestly wanted to see what he looks like right now, and it really hasn't been that long since he competed, so if he was like focused on his post-show rebound, if he was actually training hard and eating hard without taking anything, I'm pretty sure he would have looked bigger and better at this point, but he decided to give his body a rest, a break, and now he's slowly coming back. What kind of a physique will he be able to maintain in his retirement? We'll see, but I'm guessing he's gonna just look like the way he looked usually in the off-season for all these years, but after like 2, 3, 4 years of not prepping, not blasting the gear for at least a couple of months in the year, his physique is probably gonna start to fade more and more. But I'm also kind of feeling that he might actually jump back into competitive bodybuilding at some point in a couple of years. I don't really feel like he's gonna retire completely, but who the hell knows. We'll see what's gonna happen. Anyways, this is his physique update right now. Tell me what you guys think about it. Alright, next up, we also got a couple of very interesting photos from another retired Mr. Olympia, Heath. And recently he has been posting a lot of physique updates. But nobody was really talking about him, making videos about him, because all those physique updates didn't really look that impressive. He looked like another long ago retired bodybuilder. It seemed like he was getting worse and worse, I mean like getting smaller and smaller, and it didn't seem like there was an option of him coming back anytime in the future, and I still don't think there is an option for that, but in these photos that he posted, he seems bigger, more impressive for sure. I mean, right here, take a look at his like arms and shoulders and chest and the legs as well, the calves, the forearms. I don't know, man. I'm not saying that he's gonna come back and compete, but it seems like he was probably bored of being small and flat and probably off the juice. And it could be just a really good lighting, a really good photo, stuff like that. But to me, it seems like he might be on something again. It looks like he started, you know, taking things a little bit more seriously, because in this physique update, he actually looks pretty freaking impressive. Not impressive to the point where he can come back and compete at Mr. Olympia at the highest level. I'm not saying he couldn't do it if he just really devoted himself for like a couple of years. I don't think he would be winning the Mr. Olympia ever again, but like he could be an Olympian for sure. If he really tried, he would probably be able to be a top 10 Olympian again. I don't know how much of his physique has melted away for good. Like I can see some strange things happening in his legs. I'm sure he's starting to atrophy slowly without training super hard, without blasting gear, without really doing the bodybuilding as hard as he used to. But considering he's retired, in these photos, he actually looks very impressive, very massive. Look at his arms right here, like, it's not just that he's in shape and he has like good shape of the arms and like he's in condition. It's not just that, he actually is pretty freaking massive. Like the chest, look at the chest right here, the arms, of course, the forearms, the shoulders, the traps, and like we saw the legs a moment ago. So it seems like Phil Heath is not really taking it easy. I don't know if his plan is to actually look as good as possible in his retirement, or he just looks like this when he's, you know, training regularly, eating normally, and, you know, taking TRT. I don't know, but as you can see here, he's looking very, very impressive, just like the other photo. Anyways, this is what Phil Heath looks like right now in his retirement in 2025. Alright, and lastly, we got a new, most recent physique update from Carlos Thomas Jr., and this is him at 8 weeks out of the Arnold Classic, coached by Patrick Tour, and all of his physique updates, not just right now, but even in the years prior, they all always looked super impressive. Now, I saw that Nick Strength and Power made a video, and he titled it, like, the dark horse, can he win the Arnold Classic? I mean, I don't know what he said in the video. He probably said that he can't, but, I mean, even to title the video that way, I think it's a hell of a stretch, man. So the first thing that is questionable is whether Carlos will be able to go through the prep, because he also quit on a couple of preps so far, and he had his reasons. I don't want to say excuses, but does it matter? Not really, not in this conversation. We all know that he's not super consistent in, you know, enduring the prep and showing up in really good shape on stage. The times when he actually did the prep and actually got on stage, he wasn't in great condition. So he probably has trouble, he probably has hard time prepping. So I don't know if he's going to be able to make it until the Arnold Classic. That's one thing. The other thing is, even though he's incredible, super crazy impressive in these front shots right here, like even though he has insane quads and small waist and super big arms, especially biceps, and the chest is thick, like he's crazy looking. He's definitely a freak. The thing is, like, the back, we can't see it here for a reason, and that's because his back is really, really weak, especially compared to his front part. And another thing is, again, the conditioning was never great on stage. And as you can see, like, his legs are big, they're massive, but will they be shredded, separated, like the legs of Samson Dauda, or Derek Lunsford, or Andrew Jacked, or anybody on that stage, pretty much? No, I don't think he's gonna have the deepest separation, the best conditioning. What he does have, again, is the size of the legs, crazy X-frame, not the best conditioning, not a great back. And also, he's a very short guy, so he's not going to be the biggest guy with the biggest frame on that stage. So, I mean, I love his physique. I'm a huge fan of his physique. It's freaking awesome. Like, the size of the arms and the legs and the X-frame, the chest thickness, and just the overall shape of his physique, it's phenomenal. I love it. But to say that he might win the Arnold Classic against guys like Samson Dauda, like Derek Lunsford, like Andrew Jacked, like Brandon Curry, like James Hollingshead, and a bunch of other really good guys, yeah, it's a stretch. In my opinion, best case scenario, if he truly nails the conditioning and comes with an improved back, best case scenario that I can see him is top 5. You know, maybe like after Samson, Derek, and Andrew, and then maybe he can battle with James Hollingshead, or I don't know who else, maybe John De La Rosa, we'll see. But yeah, to win the show, to win the Arnold Classic, that's definitely a hell of a stretch. That's the way I see it, guys. Whatever you think, tell me down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. For more content like this, guys, stay tuned, subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon, all the best, and bye-bye.